It will be Hughes again to Ashawn Hodge, shorter and wider. This one will be called a wide. Score moves on to 75. 75, the score still for the loss of 3 wickets. Ashawn Hodge is on, I believe, 15. I believe he's on 15. Hughes again. Again, short and wide, and once again will be called a wide. So giving away a few runs now is Khalid Hughes. Not as tight as he was last season. He was very economical last season. Now he's bowling a bit looser, giving away a few more runs. Season again to Ashawn Hunt. Just a much better line. And Ashawn is just going to push it back down towards the long off for only a single.
Yes, he was bowling much better in the last season, but now he's giving umpire Proctor good exercise by exercising those wides.
Clyde Hughes between umpire and stumps. Now to both the challengers. Short and wide again. Challenger will shoulder arms. It will be no runner. Hughes again. To both the challenger. Challenger's forward. He is wrapped on the pads there. The appeal does go up, but umpire Proctor is unmoved. He says just leg bys as they did run a single.
You see, umpire Proctor was not interested in that appeal. He just waved and signaled to the scorers of a leg by.
We are into the course of over. We are after 9 over, sorry. It is 78 the score. 78 for the loss of 3 wickets. The scoring rate is at a very good pace right now. Scoring at above 8 runs and over, nearing 9 runs and over. Scoring at about 8.7 runs and over as Ashawn Hodge has had a change of bat. It will be
Yes.
Herbert to continue. It's a deep square leg, deep cover on the offside, a long off and a long on in place. Third man is about halfway back. Herbert to bowl to the man Sinclair Challenger, who turns it down to the leg side for just a single.
You see, there are many gaps in the field. Here, you don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. Just play very straight through the gap and start to run.
The run rate is very good at this present moment, so they can afford to look to consolidate and try to not lose any more wickets because they wouldn't want to expose their lower middle order as it's pushing to the offside now for a single.
Yeah, that's the idea. Just play it into the gaps and run because they are ahead on scoring at run rate.
So it's Herbert again. He has a wicket. And he will bowl now to Challenger, who's trying to cut but is beaten outside the off stump. It will be no runner.
He said this ball was too close to him to try to play the cut shot.
It was a bit too close for him to cut. Herbert once again into bowl to Challenger, into this delivery. Challenger is back and it looked like it wrapped him on the pads, but it was a very high and wide, so there was no appeal. 80 the score, 80 for the loss of 3 wickets for the Razor Massives in the course of over number 10. Herbert to Challenger, and Challenger's forward and pushing defensively back to the bowler Herbert for no runs. Much better over from Andrew Herbert.
Yes, he has settled down and hold his own, and he's within himself now bowling properly at this time.
Herbert, the Challenger, who's again forward, pushing into the offside for no run. Is forcing the batsmen to play a lot more defensive. The run rate has dropped to just around 8 now. And at the end of over number 10, we are at the drinks break. It is 80 for the loss of 3 wickets. We've had just 2 runs off that over. 80 for 3 going into the drinks break, where in the power play, the man Kenroy Davis was striking the ball very well, scored 26. He was partnered by Keyshawn Richardson, who scored, I believe, 13. And now Ashon Hodge and Challenger are continuing to take the attack to the pointers after Wright was dismissed for 7, caught up the bowling of Herbert, as I will say good afternoon to Ralph Hodge.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Brian. And quite an interesting day for cricket here. We've been treated with all kind of shades for the day. At one point in time, a little drizzle. Another point in time, hot sun, and now it's extremely cool and nice. I'm sure both the fielding and batting side would love it out there. The Island Harbour team getting a very useful start, getting a little careless and lost a couple of quick wickets. We are now 3 wickets down. We are on 80, so we are talking another 67 runs and another 10 overs. So where we are going at under the required rate of the established rate of 7.6, I think, or 3 it was. Now we are down to 6.6, 6.7. So it's a possibility that it's in reaching distance, but certainly the batsmen will have to work for their runs. The pointers will not give it away. And knowing Ashon Hodge, Ashon is quite a greedy batsman, if you could use that term. One who loves batting and one who would want to stay out there all day. And it's important that he does that if Island Harbour will actually challenge in the end.
Yes, and I was speaking to the Mari Prince earlier from the Pointers, and he did tell me that as the pitch goes on during the innings after the roll, it becomes a lot drier and a lot more difficult for batting. And we did see that prove true in the Pointers innings when they started so well, just 91 when they lost their first wicket, and then pretty much collapsing after that, only getting to 140. And we may be seeing the beginning of that in this innings as well, as the run rate is starting to slow down. It was somewhere around the 9 area a bit earlier, now down to 8. They're at 84.3. And we'll see how these two batsmen, Sean Hodge and Challenger, are able to overcome this difficult time for batting, as it would seem. They do have the veteran level, Harrigan still in the shed, and we know how dangerous he can be on his day.
Yeah, the 8 runs is actually what would have taken place, the 8 run average, because we only have 67 more runs to go, and we are talking 10 overs, which makes the required rate even lower than 8. And certainly, if Ashon gets into it, and then you have somebody giving them a bit of support higher up, and Lanville Harrigan comes lower down, we do not know what will happen, but it's still a major match going on. Both sides think they have a chance in it. Right now, the edge seems to be to the batting side, but cricket is such a funny game. We will have to watch it as we go along.
I must say the addition of Kenroy Herbert has been a big addition for the Razor Masters, because he extends their bowling lineup, which means they now have, what, 3 or 4 pacers. And he also opens the batting, it seems like, so it allows for Lanville Harrigan and Sean Hodge to come in a bit later, which also deepens what seemed at the time, or at the start, to be a rather top-heavy batting lineup. But with Rolando Wright and Kenroy Davis's ability to bat, as well as Keyshawn Richardson's availability right now, he was injured last season for most of last season, but he's now available and healthy in this tournament, and that certainly extends the Razor Masters batting lineup a fair few spots.
Certainly the Blowing Point team, they have some reasonably good batsmen. Like you have Walker at the top in there, and they like guys who can really hang around. The young man whose name you spoke to, who gave a comment on the pitch, they seem to be good batsmen in terms of our cricket. And you're going to have to dislodge them if you're going to do much harm, early harm, as far as the pointers is concerned.
Well, this young man is a game changer. It looks like it's going to be Jaden Carmichael who'll be taking up the attack from the Polyclinic end. He'll be assisted by the wind. He bowls left arm off spinner, and the wind blowing from the east to the west will assist him in getting turn. He'll be moving the ball away from the right hander. Jaden Carmichael, the left arm off spinner from St. Kitts and Nevis. did play for the West Indies under 19 as well. Carmichael now into bowl to Ashawn Hodge, and Hodge is back in, looking to push, can't get it past the extra cover fielder. It will be no run.
Well, certainly a rare phenomenon in cricket to have a left arm off spin is something you virtually do not hear about in the game at all.
Here he is again, a Carmichael. Short and wide, Ashawn Hodge looks to cut but can't get it past the fielder. Maybe trouble here, and he will be gone. Challenger came for a run by himself. Ashawn Hodge sent him back. He could not get back in time. And once again, for the second game in a row, right after the water break, a wicket has fallen.
Yeah, certainly very careless batting. We cannot call that a lapse in concentration. Very careless running between the wicket. The ball is hit quite hard, straight to cover. Where are you straying out of your crease? The shot was virtually not properly completed, and the challenger looking for a run, and that's a bit unfortunate.
Well, Challenger, he was knocking the ball around just a bit, but a new batsman does come in, and it looks like it may be Eversley Brown, I believe, who's strolling into the middle. He can strike the ball a fair distance, can Eversley Brown?
Yeah, this is interesting because playing quite a lot of cricket with Evans LeBron, we all knew him to be a number 11 batsman, and we mean a number 11 batsman. Over the last couple of years, his batting has improved significantly, and seeing him up the order, there's virtually no surprise.
Yes, and a player who his journey has pretty much mirrored is the man from Ireland. We'll get his name to you shortly. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But it's Carmichael again. Now into bowl to Ashawn Hodge, and Hodge is driving through the offside. And again, now Brown comes for a run by himself, and that's two catastrophic errors in running between the wickets in a row. Can you believe it? Eversley Brown has gone without facing a single delivery, running a single by himself once again, and the Razor Massives are all of a sudden capitulating.
Well, certainly in one-day cricket, if I'm going to have to lay blame now, I'm going to lay the blame on Ashon. That ball was played very far away from the middle of the wicket, and I don't see the middle of the pitch rather, and I don't see any reason why he did not go for the run, because Brown was more than halfway down, had to turn back, and was just barely run out.
Well, then, can you believe it? We just saw that error occur the ball before. They came back and they made the exact same error.
And how unfortunate things can happen. And certainly one would have expected Brown to stay out in the middle with Ashon. But something to note, if there is a weak part of Ashon's cricket, is his running between the wicket, his ability to judge a run. And we've seen that with him on many occasions. A fantastic batsman, but then for some reason he hasn't gotten the running between the wickets correct.
It's been a problem of his for a long period of time, and it's still plaguing him. The person I was referring to just now was Andrew Balbirnie from Ireland, and we didn't even get to see the man even get a chance to score any runs today. Eversley Brown didn't get a face of delivery, but that was Carmichael. And Ashon sweeps down towards the backward square leg area. Man comes across from the sweeper boundary on the leg side, but they will get two. Ashon moves on to 19 now, and the score has finally reached 82, finally getting off of 80.
Getting off 80 with quite a good shot, but just before getting off 80, losing two unnecessary wickets.
All of a sudden, it's 82 for 5. The scoreline does not look as good as it did a couple balls ago. Carmichael to Hodge, who's back, and the pushing into the offside will not get a run.
Certainly, quite a nice line from the bowler. He's somewhere just outside the off stump, spinning back into the batsman. Not quite a lot of turn, but a very good line and length.
Carmichael again. And Sean Hodges trying to punch into the offside, and again there's a bit of miscommunication. Luckily for them, Delano couldn't collect cleanly on the first attempt.
Well, certainly the running between the wicket now is becoming a comedy, is because on all three occasions it was virtually the same thing. Unfortunately, in two of the cases, a wicket was lost via the run-out route. On this occasion, it was not. I know this will be weighing heavily on the batter's mind in terms of Ashon Hodge, but he's out there. He has to just settle down and go ahead playing his cricket.
Well, this partnership right here will be critical if the Razor Massives were to chase down this target. They wouldn't want any of these guys to get out right now, as it looks like the man level Harrigan has gone into the middle now. So, the line of Mussington will be brought back now from this commentator's box end, as Nigel, is the new batsman. So still no Lanville Harrigan. Still no Lanville. We still await him, and I wonder if he's saving himself for the very end. We can come in and just smash around the ball a bit.
Well, I believe that might be the trend of thought at the moment. I will wait and see what happens, and then when I come in, maybe I will be in a position to have a fling at it with the best of the bowlers from the pointers out of the way.
Nigel Hodge, a new batsman. They may want him to stick around until possibly the 15th or 16th over, when Lanville will look to make his way into the middle. Delano Mussington, who was smashed around just a little bit by Kenroy Davis in the power play. He's back on for his second spell now, having just bowled the one over, I believe. Mussington into bowl to a new batsman in Nigel Hodge, and Hodge is pushing into the offside. He will get a single.
Certainly very lackadaisical in running their single was always on, but one would like to see more effort from the batsmen in the middle, more hustle in terms of running the runs. One day cricket is about aggression, and we need to see that more from everybody on the field of play.
Yeah, so you would want to see a bit more aggression, especially in the running between the wickets. It was good from the pointers to a point, but it's not been the best from the Razor Massives. And they have lost 2 wickets because of it, possibly 3 actually, with Keyshawn Richardson's wicket. Mussington again. Now into bowl to Ashon Hodge. It's Fuller, and Ashon is driving furiously down towards long off. It will be fielded and returned by, looks like, Oliver Walker, so only a single.
Certainly a fantastic shot on that occasion, all along the ground, just past the bowler, somewhat straight back past the bowler, and there is someone in the deep backing up, or two people in the deep backing up, so there could only be a single.
Field being changed now, as it looks like maybe it's an issue with the ball, as the umpires are conferencing right now. It is 84 right now for the loss of 5 wickets, I do believe. 84 for 5.
Well, certainly they are going to have to do some short-term planning. How are we going to approach another 10 runs? How we are going to approach another 10 runs, and have small targets if they are going to make any impression in terms of reaching that 146 runs.
Yes, it was looking like they were coasting at this chase earlier, but now it's looking a lot more balanced, well balanced. Muskington into ball to Nigel, and he's knocked over his leg stump. Nigel is bowled. The land of Muskington's pace comes to the fore once again. It was full. It was straight. Nigel, you miss. The land of Muskington says, I hit.
Yes. So, certainly pitched a little outside the leg stump, and the batsman in Nigel Hodge virtually allowing all stumps open, and lost his leg stump. A loose looking shot on that occasion. The batter should have been playing it straight up the wicket or trying to gently turn it into the leg side, but guilty of going across the line on that occasion, and yet another Razor massive wicket.
Well, now he's finally making his way into the middle Probably the lowest he may have ever batted in his career. Coming in at number 8, it's Lanville Harrigan.
Well, certainly, Lanville Harrigan is for moral support in the side, a long-standing hero when it comes to cricket in Anguilla, and one who loves the game, one who wants to see other people doing well in the game. As a matter of fact, comes from a family of brothers, maybe the second biggest brother family in terms of cricket in Anguilla, because the family that would outweigh everyone in that on this island. It will take a very long time for it to be changed if ever would be the practice, where you have a load of brothers and a load of good cricketers.
Washington, he has come back a lot stronger in this second spell of his. And he's gotten the wicket of Nigel Hodge, who did not look the most comfortable at the wicket. And as we said, as the wicket gets older, it becomes a lot more difficult to bat on.
Certainly, the ball is not getting up as high as one would expect. So you are going to have to be playing straight most of the time. Going across the line is not an option on this pitch at the moment.
Mussington, from the commentary box, said number 1 on his back, bowling right arm medium pace. Over the wicket now into bowl to the new man level Harrigan. Harrigan is driving down towards long on very stylishly. Will get a single.
Well, certainly the drive is owned by Lanville Harrigan no matter where on the field. He generally plays with a very straight bat, so once you go up to him, he's always willing to carry you down the ground. And Mussington actually laboring a bit, not laboring actually, but lumbering up to the wicket, a big man, and actually getting quite a bit of purchase out of the wicket because the ball seemed to be dodging in a little, dodging out, and with it not getting any significant height, he will be quite a bit to handle on this pitch at the moment.
Oh, it's going to be a free hit as there was a no ball in the previous delivery. Free hit for Ashawn Hodge, who comes across, swings down to the leg side. It's straight down the throat of the man, but it was a free hit, and I don't think that he knows it. It looked like Ricardo John, the fielder there at short mid wicket, who took the catch, and he had no idea it was a free hit.
Certainly, the players are not in the game. Is because a free hit was signal. Everybody know the only way you could get out from a free hit is a run out.
Mussington now passes the umpire into bowl to Ashawn Hodge, who's driving down to the long on area. That was Jaden Carmichael, who does the fielding. It's just a single.
A nice looking shot from Ashawn Hodge and a batter of class, pitching somewhere around middle and off stump, coming into Ashawn Hodge, and with a very straight bat, he just hits it on the onside of the fielder out to long on for a single. Little conversation now between Hodge and Harrigan, and certainly they are saying, look, if we can take it through another 5 overs at a respectable rate per over, certainly without losing any hours, things could happen.
After 12, it is 86 for 6. The wickets have certainly fallen here. The scorecard, which was looking so good at the water break at 80 for 3, they've now scored 6 runs in 2 overs. The run rate has slowed all the way down to almost a complete halt.
Yeah, it has slowed up, but still the batting side, while would not be the favorites to me at the moment, they still have a go at it. 60 runs off 8 overs could be easy batting if someone gets in control, but it doesn't look like nobody's getting in control.
It'll be Carmichael to continue the bowling as Ashawn sweeps, and the next place you'll be hearing in the hot box will be the man Keith Stone Graves.
Thank you so very much. 86 for 6. Certainly raise the masses up against it here this time. As we look at the Carmichael coming in from the far end. Left arm around the wicket to Ashawn, who sweeps at this one. A wide will be called and signal, has been called and signaled by the umpire.
It's now 87. 87 for 6. Razor Massive set 146 to win this game. Carmichael again, left armor from the far end, around the wicket to Hodge, who comes forward, and there's an appeal for a catch at the wicket. That one spun quite sharply into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. Hodge was pushing forward, and the left armor getting some bite and turn on that occasion. Very good delivery. 87 for 6. We'll get the scores of for Ashawn in just a while. This one is again another good delivery. There's a shout for LBW, but umpire Proctor is not interested. Very good bowling here by Carmichael, and Ashawn walks away towards short backward square, trying to keep his concentration. Everything depends on this pair at the wicket now. In Lanville Harrigan leaning on his bat at the non-striker's end. 87 for 6. Carmichael is in. Boso Hodge outside the line of the leg stump. Sound down to backward square. Nicely stopped there by Andrew Herbert, throwing himself full stretch to his right. And there is no run. Ralph, this certainly is turning into a very gripping contest.
Yes, certainly, Keith. But my favorites at the moment would be the pointers, because this pair means quite a lot to what happens for Razor Massive.
Here is Carmichael again in over number 12. This one goes back. Ashawn goes back, pushes this one into the over number 13, in fact, out into the offside. Picked up by the captain of pointers. That's Lick, end of 13, 87 for 6.
And Keith, you have to tell me when last you've heard of a left arm off spinner. It's not very common in
88.
It's not very common that we hear of a left arm off spin in cricket, and I am certain maybe this might be the only one that's around at the moment.
So the score is actually 88 for 6 after 13. With Ashawn Hodge on 21. Lanville Harrigan is yet to score. Again, the target is 146 or 10 wickets for Razor Massive. So far, they've taken 6. Samuel Theodore comes in beside me. Of course, we've got the Queen's Baton Relay all set to get underway here in Anguilla. As we look at Delano Mossington. Bowling with the third man, the man at point. There's an extra cover. Long off, long on. Sweep on the deep cover boundary. Short fine leg. Mid-wicket deep. And there's a man right out on the square leg boundary. Delano Mossington, right arm. Medium fast. Oh, this one is driven by Harrigan, but straight to the man at extra cover in Leon Lake, and there is no run. Over number 14 in progress. 88 for 6, 21 to Hodge, the captain and non-striker. Pointers getting to 145. At one stage, they were 91 for 1. As Mossington runs away from us once more. He's up to the wicket now. Bows this one to Harrigan, who drives powerfully out to long on. There's a man rushing off the boundary. Lanville Harrigan gets his first run. He's won. It's 89 now. 89 for 6.
2.
Lanville on 2. I beg your pardon. Lanville Harrigan is on 2. Ashawn has 21. So Lanville Harrigan, the non-striker, is on 2. Ashawn has 21. Slightly overcast conditions. As Delano goes in and bows this one, driven powerfully but straight to the man at extra cover. Lanville explored the possibility of a run but turned back very quickly.
Yeah, he was backing up too far off, and he got back in time by doing this.
89 for 6. Target 146 or 10 wickets for the pointers. They've gotten 6 so far. Mossington goes in and bows this one. Oh, that one came back a long way. Beat the batsman, beat the keeper, went down to very fine leg. The throw comes in and into the keeper's end, but that one really took mid. That one really came back quite a long way, Sambo.
Yes, that ball really cut back.
Really cut
back on that surface here. It was playing very well, but this one, very sharp turn, I would say, at this time.
91 it is now. Ashawn goes to 23. Harrigan has 2, but that one really came back a long way. And it was quick. One of the quickest deliveries seen all day. Kept low as well. Here is Delano Mussington, right arm, medium fast. He's up, bowls to Ashan, goes back and squirts this out to the man at point. That's Herbert. And there is no run.
Yes, pointers have tightened up right now and they are making it very difficult for the batting team to reach the target. Very difficult indeed.
It's a question of keeping it tight. Over number 14 in progress. Mussington runs away from us. He's up there once more. And this one outside the line of the leg stump. And the call will most likely come. Yes, it has come now. It's a wide. 92 for 6. Over number 14.
Still need 50 odd runs to score in 7 overs. But they could still do it with some lusty hitting. Harrigan is there, he could do it.
It's going to be a tall order. Delano goes in, bows to Sean. He comes off the outside edge. He's dropped by the keeper. Looking to steer this down to third man. Came off the outside edge. The keeper moved to his right. Couldn't take it. And Hodge gets a life. He's 23, Asheron Hodge. It's 92 for 6 after 14 overs.
Yes, if he had hold on to this, they would be in further trouble at this time. Searching for that ball and he missed it. He edged it and the keeper fumbled it a bit.
Yeah, there's a bad miss there for the pointers. Ashan looking to run it down to third man, floor off the outside edge. And the keeper diving away to his right, could not get it into the glove, floored it. And so Ashan lives to fight another day. As I said, the pair of Harrigan, Lanville Harrigan and Ashan Hodge. This is the pair that will have to do it for their team. The two most experienced players left in the side as Carmichael will continue from the far end. Carmichael with Leeward Islands and West Indies youth cricket experience. He'll be bowling to Lanville Harrigan on 2. 92 for 6 is the score. The target is 146.
You see, at one time I thought that they would be further up, about 130 at this time at the rate they were going, but they have slowed down considerably right now.
Yes, they were certainly going well when you had Davis and Kishon start to give them a good start. But they have certainly slumped some very, very bad running between the wickets. 2, 3, plus 2 run-outs, you know, almost back-to-back. So it's been... So that certainly took the heart out of the Razor Massive. But can Harrigan, Lanville Harrigan and Ashan Hodge take it home for their team Razor Massive? This is always a tight contest between these two teams. Here is Carmichael in. Now balls to Lanville Harrigan coming onto the front foot. There's a shout for LBW. Balls ricochets off the front pad and goes to short third man. And there is no run.
Yes, it was a very loud appeal. All the players cried out, but umpire Proctor said not out.
So Carmichael, the left arm spinner, bowling around the wicket to the right-handed Lanville Harrigan. Lanville Harrigan taps away, looks up at young Carmichael as he comes in now and bows to Harrigan. Harrigan drives this one into the onside, out to mid-wicket. The man coming off the deep mid-wicket boundary. And Harrigan gets his third round. It's now 93 for 6.
Yes, he played a very good stroke, but only for 1 run. The fielder came from the boundary and cut it off. He has good strokes remaining in him.
So they certainly need some fireworks, need to get the scoring on quite quickly. The overs are going by quickly. This one is hit high in the air, out to long on. Goes past the fieldsman and does 4 runs, or is it? Yes, 4-run signal. So Ashan opening up and lifting this one out to wide long on. The fieldsman came around to his left, but could not save it. It went past him, fell inside the boundary and went across. And 4 more runs to Ashan. He goes now to 27, and it's 97. 97 it is. 97 for 6 in over number 15.
He's trying his best that he wants his teams to win, so He had played a very lusty stroke into the outfield that went for 4.
He certainly will need a lot more of this type of hitting. Here is Carmichael. Let's see what he does. Serves up this time. He comes in now and bows to Ashawn. He goes back and stays this one gently, but straight to the man. Short third man. That's Mussington, Delano. And there is no run.
Yes, the sun has come out again, and we are playing in bright condition once more. It was overcast a while ago. That would help the bowlers.
Yes, it's good to see the sun back with us here at the James Warner Webster. This one is fast, a flat delivery tucked into the onside. Easy single there for the asking for it to be taken, and it is taken. One more to Hodge, 28 years, 98 now, 4-6. Still in the 15th over. Carmichael is the bowler, left arm bowling around the wicket from the southern end of the ground with the Central Polyclinic sign clearly in our view from our vantage point here on the northern end of the commentary booth. Here is Carmichael, changing now, bowling over the wicket. This one, Harrigan comes forward and steers it gently to the man at short, third man, Mussington fields. Harrigan gets his 4th run. 99 it is now for 6 at the end of over number 15. 99 for 6 after 15.
You see, Harrigan still have the strokes. He played that one very lightly and started running immediately. But he would have to open out so that his team could win.
So the two batters, Harrigan and Hodge, they're having a mid-pitch conference. So too are the Pointers fielding team, led by Leon Lake, having a little chat as the players disperse to the far corners of the James Warner Webster Park. Washington will continue from the commentary box end. And he'll be bowling to Lanville Harrigan. Harrigan is on 4. Keyshawn Hodge, the captain, who got some wickets today. He's got 28. It's 99 for 6 as we're about to start the 16th over. So, Sambo, there certainly need to be some runs scored in these next few overs if they're to come anywhere close to the target.
Yes, they would have to go very quickly by about 8 to 9 runs and over, somewhere thereabout.
Here is Mussington running away from us. He's up now. Bowser Harrigan pulls this one into the onside. They get 1. We certainly need more than that. The 100 comes up. So the 100 comes up for the Razor Massive in the 16th over. They're now 100 exactly for the loss of 6 wickets.
Yes, still needing 46 runs to do it in 3.5 overs.
The field pretty much spread now. Third man, backward point. Extra cover. Mid-wicket deep. Long off, long on. Square leg, short fine leg. It's Delano Mussington, tall figure. Ambles up to the wicket. He's up there now. He bowls outside the off stump. Keyshawn gets a run, dragging this from outside the offside into the onside out to that straightish mid-on position. He goes to 29 and it's 101 now. 101 for 6.
You see, we would still like to see him hitting more balls into the boundary. Yes, their singles are getting the score over, but 4 runs would definitely need to be hitting the ball.
So the Pointers really tightening the screw at this particular stage. So they need some good powerful hits, some power hitting now. This one to Harrigan, he hits this one, but only succeeds in dragging it into the pitch. Mussington following through picks it up. There is no run. Kept on 101 for 6. Over number 16 of 20. Target 146 in case you might be joining us for the first time today. Pointers got to 145 when they batted. Here's Mussington now into Harrigan. Harrigan drives powerfully back past the bowler. Out to long off. It comes. There's Oliver. Gets the ball back in to Delano. Harrigan goes to 6 now. And Ashawn, who's on 29, comes into strike. It's 102. 102 for 6 in over number 16.
Well, they are trying to rush on with the score right now. That's what they should be doing at this time.
And a dog comes onto the to the field, as though he wants to help the team. This one is played into the offside field. So dog, so we have what, 12? A dog is feeling at extra cover.
Yes, and taking his time moving
and taking
across.
his time moving across. Oh my, oh my. What a great game of cricket. Delano Mussington, it's 102 for 6 over number 16. Bowling to Hodge on 29. He goes in now, bowls the Hodge outside the off, some driven powerfully out to long off, but there's a man posted there, Oliver. He feels and takes Ashon Hodge to 30. And it's 103. Yes, 103 for 6, Sambo,
Yeah.
at the end of over number 16.
So we have 4 overs remaining in which to get these runs. One by one will not do it. They need some lusty hitting at this time and bring it home.
So we prepare for over number 17. 103 for 6. Can they do it? Raise a massive. Well, this go to the Pointers, who played well today. Lost their way in their middle, but came back and at least posted a fairly challenging total of 145. We thought they would have gotten to perhaps maybe 180. And the Razor Massive started well with Davis and Richardson. They started out really well, got the score up to close to 50 or thereabouts, batted well, but then there was this mini collapse in the middle with 2 unnecessary run-outs, and that certainly set them back.
Yes, they lost their way in the middle. Right now, they are just trying to consolidate right now, and Landfill is trying to take them home.
So Carmichael, I think this will be his final over. Left arm spinner from the far end of the ground. He'll be bowling to Hodge, who's on 30. 103 for 6. Over number 17 has just started. First delivery pushed into the offside field, and there is no run. So we could sense the anticipation of a victory for the Pointers, but it's not over till it's over.
See, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties.
Here is Carmichael into Ashon, who turns this one into the onside nicely. Should get a couple here. But Harrigan, with his size, not being able to move too quickly between the wicket. 31 to Ashon, and it's 104 for the loss of 6. So Landville certainly will need to hit some 6s and 4s if he doesn't want to run. He can't. He's very slow between the wickets. So he will need to hit some powerful blows here if the Razor Massive is to get anywhere near the 146 they require for victory. They're certainly struggling. The straight ends here, I understand, about 70 yards on the straight sides. This one is outside the line of the leg stump, taken on the pad, a shout. Umpire Proctor is not interested. Another dot goes into the scorebook, still kept on 106 for 3 over number 17.
He tried sweeping that ball into the fine leg area, but made no contact.
Carmichael it is. Bowling to Harrigan. Needs to hit a couple 6s and some 4s. This one he dances down and drives powerfully down the ground. But there's a man out there at long on. He'll only get a single. He just ambles through, taking his time. 104 for the loss of 6 over number 17. And it's becoming rather pedestrian-like now. Odds certainly stocked in favor of the Pointers for a victory here. Here is Carmichael in now. So Ashano hits this one down the ground. It's gone a long, long way. It's gone over the boundary for 6.
Yes,
110 for 6. Ashon Hodge really dancing into this one. Floated up by Carmichael, the left arm spin, and lofted it high over long on. The fieldsman on the boundary looked up and saw the ball sailing over his head. 6 runs to Ashon Hodge. He goes to 37, I make it. 111 is the score. 111. 111 for 6.
Yes,
and I could
he
see
made good connection with that ball.
very good connection. 111 for 6. And umpire David Shepherd of England, had he been alive, would have been up on his and jumping around. This one is carried up, pushed into the offside field, and there is no run. End of over number 17, 111 for 6.
They still need some 34 runs to get in 2 overs.
111 for 6. 111 for 6 in search of 146 for victory in just 3 overs remaining. They will have to go at around and about 10 and over from this point in order to get the 146 runs required for victory. They will need 35 from the last 3, going at
That's almost 12 runs and
at
over.
11 and a half runs and
Very
over.
good. Well, it can happen because 2 6s is 12. And if you hit 5 6 6s, 6 6s, it will be all over. But
Well,
we left to see what happens.
it is going to be the man Newman, I believe, Tarek Newman, who will be back for his second spell. So that's the luxury of having so many bowlers. I haven't had to turn to Oliver Walker to come and bowl some off spin. He did bowl well last season, but he hasn't been required today, at least just yet. 111 for 6. It will be Newman, left arm off spinner between umpire and stumps into Lanville Harrigan, who's looking to cut, wrapped on the pads, but he struck outside the line of the off stump. It will be a dot ball. They've also not had to turn to Damari Prince as well just yet, who also bowls good right arm off spin. Usually a wicket keeper as well, and that's a good luxury when he doesn't have to wicket keep or bowl, just focus on his batting. Newman again. This one a bit shorter, and it's edge, and it has been taken. Lanville Harrigan walks. He's edged it behind. A good catch by the wicket keeper. And is that the end of the chase? Will that be all? I think Lanville Harrigan may have been their last hope, and it will take a miraculous effort from Ashon Hodge for them to drag themselves to a victory.
That was a very poor shot from Lanville. Lanville, the ball was outside the off stump, moving away from him and not playing the attacking shot. He just tried to stay the ball and the ball taking the edge. The first one, he missed it. And the bowler just pitched the exact same delivery a little wider. And then, like, I would have been going for the big shot because it come what may. But unfortunately, a very good catch by the wicketkeeper.
Well, it will be Shaquin Ferguson, the new batsman. Ferguson, not the most recognized batsman, but he is certainly looks capable of hoisting a ball a fair distance. But you will think that if the Razor Massives were to chase down this target, it would come down to their captain and leader, Ashon Hodge.
And while we are waiting for the new batsman, our sponsors Dr. Meha J. Suda, American University of Anguilla, Aurora Resort and Golf Club, Najiko Insurance, Carita Wall Greenwind Home, Zemi Beach Hotel, Digicel, Republic Bank of Anguilla, National Commercial Bank of Anguilla, Sid and Pete Supermarket, Anguilla Electronics, Radio Anguilla, Best Buy Supermarket, Class FM 92.9, Streamline, Mega Charles 54 YouTube, and Lloyd's Live. Those are our sponsors. Don't forget, tomorrow is the baton relay. The full program will be on for tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be Newman into the new batsman who was looking to heave immediately but not making good contact.
And there we have this saga. This saga between the Pointers and Razor Massive.
He'll continue now, the bowler into bowl, and it's short and looking to pull, but completely missing that one. It's the new batsman who I believe is Rogers. Yes, it is Rogers, I believe, who's the new batsman. So that's going to be 112 now, the score. 112. They will need to start scoring a lot faster if they were to want to chase this 146 down for victory. As he will continue now, Newman. Between umpire and stumps. The ball to Ashon Hodge, who comes across and heaves it down towards a deep mid-wicket area. It drops short. They will only get the single.
Yes, not a good shot there, and not carrying to the fielder, but the fielder coming in quickly and just giving them the single.
He's in again now, Newman. Into ball to Rogers, who's wrapped on the pads there, but he was going down the leg side. As a judge so as well by the umpire, so no run. But at the end of over number 18, the score has barely moved. It's 113 for 7.
Needing another 33 runs from 2 overs. This is a big effort. This will be a big task for the Razor Massive. 6 sixes, we'll give it to you. That will be 36. Not anything less than that. You have to go for all big sixes. So from 2 overs, you need 33 runs.
They will have to start scoring and start scoring quickly. They'll need about 16 and a half runs and over at this point in time.
That's the downfall of the Razor Massive. Those 3 runouts, those 2 runouts back to back was very unfortunate. But that's the way the game of cricket goes. Now they were cruising along, and then all of a sudden it happens. And then there, as yesterday when we had the break, shortly after the break we had a breakthrough, and then today again, shortly after the break, there was a breakthrough.
It looks like it's going to be Damari Prince now who's going to be taking up the attack. He will only have the 1 over to bowl today, Damari Prince. Batted well for his half century. Now will try to restrict the runs to take his team home to victory. Bowling the penultimate over, which some people call the most pressure over. The penultimate over of a game, especially when the chasing team is within striking distance. Prince bowling right arm off spin over the wicket into Ashawn Hodge, and he doesn't deliver this one. Lets this one stay in his hand. He will have to refire. Dead ball signaled. Prince comes in again now. Past the umpire into bowl to Hodge, who steps across and tries to swing himself out of his boots. Misses that one. It will be a dot ball.
Should have been playing that one straight instead of trying to play it into the onside. But I guess he has the big gap between mid-wicket and long arm.
Here he comes again. Prince into Ashawn Hodge. Just flights it up, and Ashawn goes over the offside. 2 men converging. It will fall short. They will run 1 and get the second relatively easily. Sean is on to 40, I believe, and the score moves to 115. As it's Prince tossing the ball from hand to hand. Now breaks into his walk past the umpire. Jumps now into bowl to Ashawn Hodge, who's trying to heave again. He's missing again, but it's a wide signal by the umpire. And Prince doesn't agree with it because he is arguing that Ashawn Hodge stepped across, so the wide line should move. He's now coming from around the wicket. He's changed his angle of attack. Into bowl to Hodge. Flights it up and hoisted down towards mid-wicket. They will have to scamper through for a quick single. The Bears have been taken off. Oh, what a wonderful piece of fielding. As Sean Hodge has to go. Trying to scamper through for a single. He is gone. And with him go the chances for a Razor Massive victory.
That was bad running. The ball was going straight to the fielder. You cannot scamper forward. The ball was traveling too fast. And the fielder just had to come pick up and make a quick throw. And there was the man backing up, and he was run out. The umpire was right there. So there's no error at all on the part of the fieldsman. Poor judgment, as we would say, on the part of Rashawn.
New batsman?
And we noticed that for most of the afternoon with Rashawn. Rashawn he is misjudging the singles. His judgment for singles is not there. He's calling for the single, and he will start and then turn back. Many times he could get 2 runs and he stayed for 1. But all in all, that was a brilliant bit of fielding. I don't know who the fieldsman was, but he picked it up and he threw it straight back to the bowler's end, and there was the bowler catching it and dispatching the stump. Very good cricket indeed from the pointers.
Well, it will be Eric Rogers who will be facing up now to Damari Prince. Looking to see who the new batsman could be.
The new batsman, I think the new batsman there.
I think it's Mitchell Harrigan, possibly, who's the new batsman. It might be Mitch Harrigan. But Prince will be bowling to Alric Rogers. Long on a long off, deep extra cover, a deep backward cover or cover point as Prince comes in now to bowl to Rogers. Rogers heaves down towards mid wicket. He will just get a single. Score moves on to 117. 117 in the course of over number 19. For the loss of 8 wickets saw the Razor Massives as Damari Prince will continue. Right arm over the wicket from the Polytechnic end, and Mitch chips this one high, doesn't go far, and he's put that one there down, not able to hold on over a tough chance. He was going back, he was over his shoulder, and he had to put in the dive, but wasn't able to quite hold on there. They just get the single. Princeton again. And Rogers heaves it down to the long on fence. He will get a single. 119 the score, 119 at the end of over number 19. It is 119 for 8.
Needing some 27 runs from the last over.
This is cricket. We've seen crazier things happen in cricket.
5 sixes would do.
Even 4 would be very much guaranteed. That would pretty much.
That would be closer.
That
But
would be
you
a
need
lot closer.
4 sixes and the 4.
A couple runs in
And the
addition
4.
to that, but
nothing is impossible
nothing
because
is
we know
impossible.
Mitch could hit the ball hard.
Back in his day,
In his day, that's correct.
Whether it's going to be Alric Rogers, the man on strike. He's taken off. Well, he's been here without a helmet, facing the spinners. Going to walk today by the pointers bowlers and Captain Leon Lake. He's used his bowlers well, rotated them well. As it will be the man Newman to finish up. He will be there to finish up now. Newman bowling the final over. 146 required for victory. They are at 119. Newman into bowl to Rogers, who heaves it down to the long on region. It's hit very firmly, but Jaden Carmichael will do the fielding. They get just a single. They'll need a lot more than that. 26 required from 5 deliveries. Now they need those 6s.
5 will do.
5 will definitely do. He's in again now, Newman. To Mitch, who's down the track and heaving down towards the deep square leg region. He will get 4. It was a full toss, a rank full toss, and he pulled it down to the deep square leg boundary. The man was at a forward square leg, and it was hit very hard. He could only get there to pick it up from behind the boundary rope because it sailed into the boundary. Newman again into Mitch Harrigan, and he's down the track, but can only find the extra cover fielder. And Rogers dives back into his ground. He was going for a single, but Mitch, he's not as fast as he used to be. Mathematically, this should be impossible. Newman to Mitch Harrigan, who comes across and is struck outside the line of the off stump, so they will not get the LBW shot they were looking for, but they scamper through for a single.
Yes, he was right across his stumps. No way that would have been LBW. Ball was outside the off stump and he's trying to sweep. and missed it. Seems as though he got an edge onto it because there's no signal from the umpire.
It's 21 required from two deliveries. Mathematically, this should be impossible, barring a no ball or a wide. As this one is hit high, it's not gone far. It will drop around the extra cover area. They'll pick up one, looking for the second. They do get the second. Score moves on to 127. 127 for the loss of 8 wickets. And I can say with some surety now that it is a pointers victory and a well-deserved pointers victory. Newman, a formality now, this final ball. As Rogers just chips it straight back to the bowler. Newman has a wicket. Rogers will fall on the last delivery, and the Pointers will walk away from this game with the victory. Once again, they have gotten the better of the Razor Massives.
Yes, they have, and this rivalry was from last year and now continues. So now the Pointers, they have the better of Razor Massive in this, the first their encounter for the 2022 Anguilla Premier League competition. All in all, it was a very good match. We saw quite a few drop catches, but it's all part of the game of cricket. Recalling that Prince was dropped when he was 9 and he went on to score 69. So all that is part of the game of cricket, as we would say, and that the the Razor Massive, the feeling was not all up to par for today. But I guess it's the start of the season. The guys are a bit rusty. So as the tournament goes on, Doc, I think that they will all improve.
Yes, and just as Damari Prince said the pitch would play, it did play. He said that once the game gets a few overs old, it becomes a lot more difficult to bet on. And that was certainly shown in this innings today, as Sean Hodge found it difficult to score after that drinks period. He was a bit bogged down, wasn't able to score as freely as he would have liked. And that translated to pretty much all the other batsmen for the Razor Massives, who were unable to score runs at a rate that they would have liked to, and a chase that at one point in time would have looked like a certainty has once again faltered. The Pointers in their first innings were looking like they may be touching 200 at one point, but their innings faltered after Damari Prince's wicket fell. And the same thing happened here for the Razor Massives. They were cruising. Then after the water break, they pretty much faltered as the pitch started to dry out just a bit and the rolls started to wear off just a little bit. It became so much more difficult for batting. But the pitch will continue to get better, as Bobby Black told us, as the tournament goes on, as it starts to bake in a bit more. It will get certainly a lot better.
Yes, and it was a new pitch that was laid down here at the Webster's Park. And it's playing very well so far. And as I mentioned yesterday in my summary of the game, is that if I was playing cricket, I would have liked to bat first on that strip because it would have been playing the best way in the first innings yesterday.
I
It
must,
could have.
I must say the Razor Massives had a very difficult choice whether they wanted to bat first or bowl first, because the pitch would suggest you may want to bat first, or because of the rain around, you'd have thought that maybe they would want to have a bowl first and get the advantage of maybe a reduced total.
Yes, that is so true. But all in all, it ended up a good game. The rivalry continued, and we saw Razor Massive going down to the Pointers. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, wherever you are. Razor Massive going down there to the Pointers. Pointers 145 off of their allotted 20 overs, and the Razor Massive 126. So there, we invite you to join us again Saturday when we'll have another match here at the Webster's Park. So on behalf of my fellow commentators and commentsmen, I'm Renford Kelsick, wishing you a pleasant night and turning you back to our studios.
That's it.